The first thing a billionaire buys from you is not your skill. It is your permission to be interrupted. At 3 in the morning, your phone lights up. He needs a black car, 2 passports, a birthday cake, and a private room at a restaurant that closed 4 hours ago. You say yes before your brain catches up. Not because it is reasonable, because this is the job you wanted. Access, money, proximity to a life most people only watch through glass. Now your choices hurt people below you. You can protect a house by sacrificing a worker. You can protect a worker by angering a family that signs your checks. So here is the harder question. If the money is life-changing, how much unfairness would you help maintain? You move up when the billionaire stops asking whether you can solve problems and starts trusting you with problems that must never exist publicly. Level 6. Inner Circle Fixer. This is where the job stops looking like assistance and starts looking like containment. You handle scandals before they become scandals. Bad press, bad investments. But the higher you climb, the clearer it gets. Private mistakes, family blow-ups, medical scares, people who know too much. One night, a hotel calls because something was left in a suite that cannot appear in a photo, a lawsuit, or a group chat. At lower levels, you protect comfort. At this level, you protect image. An image is where truth goes to be negotiated. Privacy becomes a department. You tell yourself you are not lying. You are coordinating. You are not covering. You are preventing chaos. The real salary was never the number on your contract, but the words start changing because the job needs them to. And yes, this is the debate. When does protecting someone's privacy become helping them avoid consequences? If you keep climbing, you stop being paid for tasks. You are paid because you know where the bodies are buried, even when there are no bodies. Level 7. Gatekeeper. You are no longer just close to power. You are part of how power touches the world. People come to you before they reach him. Founders, politicians. It was the amount of yourself you agreed not to protect. Relatives, charities, old friends, enemies pretending to be friends. You decide who gets oxygen. One morning, 2 calls arrive at once. A family member needs him. A deal could make him another billion. Everyone knows which call matters emotionally. Everyone also knows which call will be answered first. That is the final rule. The closer you get to a billionaire, the less the job is about service. Today, you start at the bottom. It is about deciding whose reality gets interrupted by his. Access is the real currency. At the top, you may earn more than you ever imagined. You may travel in private jets, know famous people, and sit 3 feet from decisions that move markets. But your own life starts to feel like a side project. You become excellent at predicting needs before they are spoken. Then one day, you realize you cannot tell the difference between being valued and being used. So your life as a billionaire's personal assistant was never really about errands. It was about proximity. How close can you stand to power before your own boundaries disappear? By the final level, you will have keys, passwords, secrets, and access. Remember that 3 in the morning request at level 1, it felt like opportunity. At level 7, you understand it was the whole job in miniature. The request was not an exception. It was the contract. Everyone says they would work for a billionaire if the pay was high enough. Fewer people ask what happens when the billionaire starts owning your calendar, your sleep, your loyalty, your silence, and finally your idea of what is normal. If you started at the bottom, you wanted access. If you reached the top, you learned the real question. How much of yourself would you rent before the paycheck stopped feeling like payment and started feeling like proof you had already been bought? The only thing you may not have is a life that still belongs to you. Level 1. Temporary assistant, you are not trusted yet. You are useful in the way a spare charger is useful. You book cars, print schedules, carry bags, learn food preferences. Learn names you are not important enough to use. Your first week, you spend 40 minutes finding the exact bottled water he likes. When you succeed, nobody thanks you. When you fail, 6 people know. That is the first rule. At the bottom, good work makes you invisible. Bad work makes you famous. Your name is not the brand. Your mistakes are. You start canceling small things. Dinner with friends. Sleep. A birthday call. Nothing dramatic at first. Just tiny pieces of your life handed over one request at a time. You move up when they stop asking if you can handle pressure and start assuming you already will. Level 2. Travel and Logistics Assistant. Your office is now airports, hotel lobbies, and the backseat of cars you cannot afford. You manage flights, hotels, visas, drivers, dinner tables, room temperatures, backup routes, and the emotional weather of someone who hates waiting. One storm cancels a flight before a billion-dollar meeting. Everyone looks at you as if weather is a personal failure. Here is the part people miss. Money does not make powerful people patient. It makes them more offended when the world says no. At this level, your talent is not planning. It is swallowing panic so someone richer than you can feel calm. The perks look beautiful from far away. 5-star hotels, first-class counters, private terminals. But you are not the guest. You are the shock absorber in a nicer building. You move up when you prove you can fix problems without making the person who caused them feel responsible. Level 3, Household and Lifestyle Assistant. Now you enter the private world. Not the office version, the real one. You manage homes, staff, gifts, pets, doctors, children's schedules, private chefs, personal shoppers, and the strange emotional ecosystem of a house with too much money. One morning he cannot find one shirt. Not an important shirt. Not a rare shirt. Just the shirt he decided his day requires. The whole house stops moving until you find it. That is when you realize wealth does not remove chaos. It hires people to make chaos look like taste. Luxury is often someone else's anxiety, folded neatly. You learn birthdays before relatives do. You hear arguments no one admits happened. You know which child is favored, which friend is tolerated, and which apology was written by staff. This is where the comment section should split. If someone pays you to know every private detail of their home, is that loyalty or paid intimacy? You move up when they stop giving you tasks and start giving you access. Level 4. Executive Personal Assistant. Now you do not just manage errands. You manage attention. You decide what reaches him first. Investors, lawyers, family, friends, doctors, publicists, emergencies, fake emergencies, and people who call themselves urgent because they are rich too. One afternoon, his spouse calls crying while a deal team waits on another line. Both believe they are the real emergency. Only one gets through. Here is the uncomfortable part. At this level, scheduling is power. Whoever controls the calendar controls which relationships are allowed to exist. You are not managing time. You are rationing access. People start being nice to you for the wrong reasons. They do not want you. They want the door you stand beside. You move up when you stop being an assistant to one person and become the operating system around them. Level 5. Chief of Staff. Now you manage the people who manage the billionaire's life. You hire, fire, coordinate, protect routines, build systems, translate impossible preferences into instructions other people can survive. A holiday dinner has 40 guests, 3 family feuds, 2 investors, 1 ex-spouse, and a seating chart that could start a war. The brutal rule is this. Around extreme wealth, small details are never small. A chair can be a status symbol. A delay can be disrespect. A missed name can become betrayal. You are paid to prevent rich people from feeling friction.